Back to the managing the cloud lab. So earlier we have shown a few exercises related to how to manage the network configuration using the in Windows using some commands, as well as we have also shown that how to create a new virtual machine using Hyper-V, which is also inbuilt within your Windows. Now we'll show you there are several hypervisors are there. One is Hyper-V is one hand, on the other hand we have VMware, we have VirtualBox, we have KVM, we have Zen hypervisors also. Now somebody if created a virtual machine in VMware, will this virtual machine will work in hypervisor or Zen? And that means I am talking about the migration. If I want to migrate a virtual machine from one virtual hypervisor to another hypervisor, will it work or not? So for this one, DMTF, it's an organization, they have created some standards that whoever creates the companies who will create the virtual machine systems, they have to maintain that standard so that there should not be any interoperability issue. Means whatever VM machine created by one hypervisor, that should be acceptable to the other hypervisors also. And the format or the packages they use to create their virtual machine format, that format is called Open Virtualization format or OVF. That means you should have the options to export your virtual machine in the OVF format. If it is exported in OVF format, that case it is platform independent. Whether it has been created in VMware, easily you can import in virtual machine, VirtualBox, or in Zen hypervisor or KVM. That we will see. And another option also we have earlier shown you, that if we have a virtual machine, we can use that virtual machine in other machines, but it should be in VMware as well as in the same version. Suppose we have VMware, that is Ubuntu 64-bit, Windows 10, Windows 7, right? Now all those virtual machines are basically stored in my documents. All those virtual machines are stored in my documents. I'm showing you. In my documents, go to virtual machine. If you go to virtual machine, actually here what I have done, that I have stored all the virtual machines over here. Means that Windows 7, Windows 10, Windows Server 2008, Ubuntu KVM, all the virtual machines are stored over here. And if you want to, and each of the virtual machine, may have find out that one VMX file is there. That VMX file, this one is my virtual machine disk format. So if I want to call that virtual machine, that can also be possible, and it will create within your VMware system. I am showing you. Suppose if I go to my virtual machine, I have already Ubuntu 64-bit, Windows 10, Windows 7, Windows 2008. But look at this. If you look at here, my Ubuntu KVM virtual machine is not there. So either I have to install it from the ISO file, but within this Ubuntu, one feature is that we have installed the KVM, which will not be there in your ISO file. Now that from that virtual machine appliances, you can import the VMX file and start the Ubuntu KVM directly. You don't have to install it again. So just what you have to do, that go to Open Virtual Machine. My documents, and here is my Ubuntu KVM. Look at this. This virtual VMX file will be shown to you, which has the VMware virtual machine configuration file is there. Now if I call this one, so it is coming, and if you start that virtual machine, easily it will start. There will be no issue. Means what I wanted to say is that if I change my system in the other system also, I can run that virtual machine easily. But this is the case where if I have VMware in other systems, not only VMware, I should have the same version of VMware. Here it is Workstation 14 Pro, so I should have Workstation 14 Pro, then it will work. Otherwise, it is not going to work. Now, what about if I want to take that virtual machine to VirtualBox. Will it work? Never. It will not work. I am showing you whether it is working or not. I have VirtualBox also with me. So in VirtualBox, which is a Oracle proprietary product, if I want to import a virtual machine, I have to give the path, and it should be in OVF format. So OVF format is not available here. Whatever I have available is the VM virtual machine format. So it will only accept the OVA or OVF format. So if I show them the path, that is the VMware Ubuntu KVM, so within Ubuntu KVM it is not going to find any file. So that one will not be installed. Now what is the solution then? So I'm shutting down this guest to show you how to solve this issue. Now what I have to do, that the same Ubuntu KVM, I have to create one OVF format, that is export to OVF. So before exporting it to OVF, what I have to do, that I have to stop that virtual machine. So I stop that virtual machine and it is now exporting. So OVF file is being created. As you can see, it will take some time. Now by this time, let us see that what are the network configuration, and whether when I will export it to some other virtual machine, whether the same network configuration will remain or not. Look at, we have memory 2 GB, processor, two processors we have taken, hard disk space is 60 GB plus 20 GB, network adapter is NAT. Now here we should discuss few things, that why we have chosen this network adapter NAT. We have in VMware three options. So what are the options we have in virtual machine? Either we have NAT or bridged or host only. Now what are the difference? At the time of creating a virtual machine, what type of network configuration I should choose? Here already I have drawn a diagram. When you choose for a NAT, what happens? This is your host machine, and your host machine has some network configuration and also has some IP. Suppose the IP is given as 192.168.32.112. Okay, now if you choose for NAT, that case the virtual machine that will create in the guest machine, they will provide one private IP. Suppose that is 132.168.32.110, and this one they have maybe created 192.168.32.111. So this one, suppose it is Windows 7 I have installed, this one maybe Windows 10 I have installed. Now this private IP, when both are connected with the internet, mind it. Now when you type when you are sending a packet to the internet, what it will do, that it will it will send the packet through that private IP. It will come over here, and we know that through the network address translation, basically what it does, that whatever private IP you have, it will convert to it will be replaced by the public IP and send it to the network. it will send it to the network. And the same manner, whatever packets are coming from this virtual machine also, it will coming through that private IP, and it will be replaced by the public IP, and it will be sent it to the network. So whatever be the network configuration, same type of network configuration also exists in these two cases also. And it will be easier for our to adapt the network configuration of the host machine within our guest machine. So basically, if you want to take the network, if you want to replicate your host machine network configuration, then it is better to go for this NAT network. Whereas in case of bridge network, what it will do, that it will just create a bridge between your host machine and your guest machine. Now within the bridge they will also provide some IP, and that IP also, in that IP also it will just actually they are using the same IP, whatever IP over here, that is 192.168.32.112, same IP they will also use, 192.168.32.112. But the thing is that when it is coming, it is sending the packet, both the virtual machine are sending the packets parallelly, that case it will come to the same bridged network, and there will be the same collision domain, and there is a chances of congestion, or there is a chances of collision, and the packet should of getting it lost. So this is basically the difference between the whether you should go for the bridge network or you should go for the NAT. So hope you understand. By this time, let us see that whether export how much it progressed. Now still we have some time. Now my OBF file is created. Let us see that where this OBF file is stored. So this is my Windows OBF format, and these are the actual supporting file, and this is the OBF file. Now let's check that whether in my virtual box it is compatible with the virtual box or not. Because it is created from VMware, we have exported it from VMware. Now we want to import it to virtual box. Now import virtual appliances. Now here also, that earlier we have told that you need the OVF file. So let us check that whether it is recognizing my OVF file or not. Look at this. Here is the Windows 10 OVF file is there. So this OVF, to create this OVF file, it takes lots of time, more than half an hour. Why it is so, that I will discuss to you later. Now I have shown the path of that OVF file. Now it will check that OVF file. It will try to read the virtual appliance file. Now mind it, if your virtual appliance your OVF file, open virtualization format file, is corrupted, that case it will show it over here. Now why it has taken so much time? Because of the size of the disk that we have taken. You might have seen that we have taken two virtual disk. One is of size 40 GB, another is of size 20 GB. So as it is creating a clone of that particular virtual machine with a particular standard which should be acceptable by all the hypervisors, so that is why it has to create a huge amount of disk space, more than that is taken more than 60 GB. So that is why it is taking that much of time. Imported two OVF file, one is for Windows 10 and Windows 7. Now let us see that how in VirtualBox machine, how we can import either of them. So first try to import Windows 10. So the virtual box having some difficulty in reading this OVF file, maybe due to the size, as I already told that the size is 60 GB. The system is getting crashed for the virtual box. I think there are some problem at the time of exporting that virtual machine. Now let us try with Windows 7. We have created two OVF file. Try to import Windows 7. Now, in case of Windows 7, there is no problem in reading that OVF file. So sometimes it happens that the package file becomes corrupted. So we have to, that case, what you have to do, that you have to create that OVF file again. Now look at this. Try to compare that Windows 7 that we have earlier created. It has 2 GB of memory RAM, one processor, and 40 GB of hard disk. Here also you'll find out in this virtual box that is one CPU. Sorry. That one. Let us import it again. Windows 7. So one CPU, 2 GB RAM, then hard disk size here it is not mentioned. And another thing is that for the network configuration we have taken NAT, network adapter for MAC address. The same configuration it has taken. That means the same format it is been there, whatever we have taken. Now let us import this file. Now in this case also it will take some time to import the entire file. Now we are facing some problem in this case also, that there is some IDA file is missing. They're showing right now. It is okay. Now sometimes it creates problem that 32-bit or 64-bit, which one is to be taken. So that case you can change whether if it in VMware, suppose the file is in 64-bit machine, but in VirtualBox it may by default may take it 32-bit. So you can change this one. That option is there with you. Now it keeps the configuration same.